200 billion trillion stars. Let me say that again. 200 billion trillion stars. That's not a typo. That's not an exaggeration. That's the actual scientific estimate for the number of stars in the observable universe. It's a 2 followed by 23 zeros. Now, here's where things get really interesting. Our own galaxy, the Milky Way, contains somewhere between 100 and 400 billion stars. And recent data from the Kepler Space Telescope tells us that nearly every single one of those stars has at least one planet orbiting it. Think about that for a moment. Our galaxy alone could be home to 400 billion worlds. 400 billion potential homes for life. And here's the question that should absolutely keep you awake at night. In a universe this impossibly vast, with more planetary systems than there are grains of sand on every beach on Earth, are we really, truly alone? The statistical probability of humanity being the only intelligent life in the entire cosmos is so incredibly small that it almost doesn't make mathematical sense. Yet most of us go about our daily lives as if we're the center of creation, as if we're the only conscious minds looking up at the stars and wondering what's out there. But what if I told you something that might change your perspective completely? What if I told you that the evidence for extraterrestrial civilizations isn't just theoretical? What if I told you it's already here on Earth, documented and verified, and in some cases officially acknowledged by the highest levels of government? Today, we're going to examine that evidence together. And I can promise you this. By the end of this video, your view of humanity's place in the universe will never be the same again. So buckle up. This is going to be one wild ride through the cosmos. The question of extraterrestrial life is perhaps the oldest and most profound mystery that humanity has ever faced. For thousands upon thousands of years, we've looked up at the night sky and asked ourselves the same basic questions. What's out there? Are we being watched? Are we part of something bigger? A larger cosmic community? Ancient civilizations all around the globe left behind stories and artwork that are eerily similar. They all talk about visitors from the sky, beings who descended from the heavens with advanced knowledge and incredible technology. The Sumerians told stories about the Anunnaki, gods who came from the stars. The ancient Indians wrote about the Vimanas, which were flying machines described in Sanskrit texts with surprisingly technical detail. The Egyptians built massive monuments aligned with astronomical precision that still baffles engineers today. Some researchers have even questioned whether they had help from beyond our world. Now, fast forward to the present day. The search for extraterrestrial intelligence has completely transformed. It's gone from being considered fringe speculation to becoming legitimate, respected science. SETI, which stands for the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, has been scanning the cosmos for radio signals since 1960. NASA has invested billions of dollars into astrobiology research. And just in the last few years, we've entered what many scientists are calling a brand new era of disclosure. The United States government has now officially acknowledged the existence of what they call unidentified aerial phenomena. These are objects that defy conventional explanation. Military pilots with top-secret security clearances have testified under oath about encounters with craft that seem to violate the known laws of physics. Intelligence officials have confirmed the existence of programs specifically designed to study and potentially reverse engineer recovered materials of unknown origin. But let me be crystal clear about something right from the start. This isn't a video about blind belief. This isn't about me trying to convince you of anything based on faith or wishful thinking. This is about examining evidence. Real, documented, verifiable evidence that demands serious consideration from any rational person. The debate about extraterrestrial civilizations has evolved significantly. It's no longer really about whether intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe. Most scientists now agree that it almost certainly does. The question has transformed into something far more immediate, something far more unsettling. How long have they been here? What do they want from us? And why, after decades upon decades of denial and secrecy, are governments around the world finally starting to admit what they know? These are the questions we're going to explore together today. And the answers, I think you'll find, are absolutely fascinating. Now, before we dive deep into the evidence itself, we need to address something important. The elephant in the room, or perhaps more accurately, the elephant that supposedly isn't in the room at all. For the better part of 70 years, the topic of extraterrestrial visitation has been systematically ridiculed. It's been marginalized. It's been pushed to the fringes and labeled as conspiracy theory and pseudoscience. Respected scientists who dared to investigate UFO phenomena found their careers threatened. Military personnel who reported encounters were silenced or had their credibility destroyed. The general public was fed a steady diet of dismissal, debunking, and outright mockery. And here's the thing, this wasn't accidental. It was deliberate policy. In 1953, the CIA convened something called the Robertson Panel. This was a scientific advisory committee specifically tasked with addressing what they called the UFO problem. And their conclusion might surprise you. They decided that the real danger wasn't the phenomena themselves. The real danger was public interest in the phenomena. So they recommended a systematic campaign to debunk UFO reports and reduce public concern, to make people stop paying attention. And it worked incredibly well. The phrase, "little green men," became a cultural punchline. Anyone who took the subject seriously was immediately labeled a crackpot or a conspiracy theorist. An entire generation of scientists learned that studying UFOs was career suicide. It was a taboo topic, completely unworthy of serious scientific investigation. Dr. Avi Loeb, who was the chair of Harvard's astronomy department, has spoken extensively about what he calls the culture of ridicule in the scientific community. In his words, and I'm paraphrasing here, the study of extraterrestrial intelligence is just as legitimate as any other branch of astronomy. Yet careers have been destroyed simply for taking it seriously. But here's the challenge we face right now, today, in 2025. How do we separate genuine evidence from misidentification? How do we tell the difference between real phenomena and hoaxes? How do we filter out wishful thinking? How do we apply rigorous scientific standards to phenomena that, by their very nature, seem to defy those standards? Let's be completely honest here. The field of UFO research is absolutely polluted with garbage. For every credible, well-documented report, there are literally dozens of misidentified aircraft, misidentified astronomical phenomena, outright fabrications and hoaxes, blurry photographs that could be anything, shaky videos recorded on potato-quality cameras, eyewitness accounts that completely fall apart the moment you apply any scrutiny. This noise, this overwhelming amount of junk data, has provided perfect cover for dismissing the entire subject out of hand. But here's what changed everything. Here's what made the conversation shift dramatically. The signal started emerging from the noise. When the United States Navy released 3 videos in 2020 showing unidentified craft performing maneuvers that should be physically impossible, the entire conversation changed overnight. These weren't blurry photos taken by amateur UFO enthusiasts with an axe to grind. These were targeting camera footage from state-of-the-art military fighter jets. Multiple sensor systems confirmed what the pilots were seeing. Trained military observers witnessed these events, and the footage was officially confirmed as genuine by the Department of Defense. Suddenly, casually dismissing the phenomenon wasn't so easy anymore. And then came the congressional hearings. In July of 2023, a former intelligence officer named David Grush testified before the United States Congress. Under oath, he stated that the United States government has been recovering craft of non-human origin for decades. He claimed there are secret programs designed to study and reverse engineer this technology. Multiple military witnesses corroborated various aspects of his testimony, and lawmakers from both political parties demanded answers and greater transparency. This is where we find ourselves today. We're at a crossroads between decades of systematic denial and what might turn out to be the most significant revelation in all of human history. The challenge isn't really whether to take this seriously anymore. The Pentagon has acknowledged these phenomena are real. The challenge now is sorting through the evidence with both an open mind and a critical, skeptical eye. We need to be willing to consider extraordinary possibilities while still demanding extraordinary evidence. So what is that evidence exactly? What proof exists beyond government admissions and eyewitness testimony? What can we actually verify, document, and analyze using scientific methods? That's exactly what we're about to explore in detail. Let's start with what we can actually see, what we can measure, what we can verify through multiple independent sources using advanced technology. Because here's the thing, the strongest evidence for extraterrestrial technology isn't found in grainy photographs or anecdotal stories. It's found in hard data from military sensor systems. In 2004, Commander David Fravor was flying an FA-18 Super Hornet off the coast of California during a routine training exercise. Fravor is a highly decorated Navy pilot with an absolutely impeccable service record and impressive credentials. He was directed by the USS Princeton to investigate an anomalous radar contact that their systems had been tracking. What he encountered changed his life forever. He found an object approximately 40 feet long. It was white, with no visible wings, no rotors, no propulsion system whatsoever. It was hovering just above the ocean surface, directly above churning, roiling water that suggested something large was beneath the waves. When Fravor approached to get a closer look, the object responded. It accelerated and disappeared at a speed Fravor estimated to be several thousand miles per hour, just gone in an instant. Now, here's why this case is so extraordinary and why it stands apart from typical UFO reports. Fravor's visual observation wasn't just a lone pilot seeing something weird. His encounter was backed up by multiple radar systems, both on ships and in aircraft. The object was tracked by at least 7 different sensors from different platforms. Other pilots in the area also saw it. The entire incident was documented in official Navy reports. This wasn't a single witness seeing something ambiguous in the sky. This was a multi-sensor, multiple-witness event involving some of the most advanced detection equipment in the entire world. And the object's behavior was, quite simply, impossible according to our current understanding of physics. According to the radar data, this thing descended from approximately 28,000 feet altitude down to sea level in less than 1 second. Let me say that again, 28,000 feet to sea level in less than 1 second. That's a descent rate that would subject any known aircraft or any biological occupant to forces of several hundred Gs. For reference, trained fighter pilots start to black out at around 9 Gs. This object was pulling maneuvers that would literally liquefy a human being. And remember, it had no visible means of propulsion, no exhaust plume from a rocket or jet engine, no sonic boom despite traveling at supersonic speeds. It moved in ways that completely violate our understanding of aerodynamics. Instant acceleration from a standstill, right-angled turns at high speed, hovering with no visible mechanism providing lift. Luis Elizondo, who ran the Pentagon's Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, has stated this unequivocally, and I quote, "We are dealing with technology that is far beyond anything we possess. The performance characteristics are not explainable by any known human aircraft." And here's the thing that really matters. The 2004 Nimitz encounter isn't an isolated incident. It's not a one-off anomaly that we can just dismiss. The United States military has documented hundreds of similar encounters over the years. In 2015, Navy pilots flying off the east coast of the United States reported nearly daily sightings of unidentified craft operating near restricted military airspace. In 2019, the Navy formally established brand new protocols specifically for reporting these unidentified aerial phenomena, essentially acknowledging that the phenomenon is real and potentially represents a significant national security concern. But let's push deeper into the data. Let's look at what makes this more than just a collection of unexplained sightings. When we analyze the reported capabilities of these craft through the lens of physics and engineering, we encounter what scientists and military analysts call observables. These are consistent characteristics that appear again and again across multiple independent cases from different witnesses in different locations. The Pentagon's UAP task force has identified 5 key observables that define these phenomena. Let me walk you through each one. Observable number 1 is anti-gravity lift. These objects appear to operate without any visible means of propulsion or lift generation. No wings like an airplane, no helicopter rotors, no rocket exhaust. They simply hover in mid-air, apparently defying gravity through completely unknown means. Observable number 2 is sudden and instantaneous acceleration. These craft have the ability to go from hovering completely still to supersonic speeds in literally fractions of a second. There's no apparent buildup of velocity, no gradual acceleration curve. This violates our fundamental understanding of inertia and the physical limits of acceleration on matter. Observable number 3 is hypersonic velocities without signatures. These objects travel at speeds that should generate massive sonic booms and enormous heat signatures from atmospheric friction. Yet they produce neither. They move through air as if the air simply isn't there, as if they're somehow not interacting with the medium they're traveling through. Observable number 4 is low observability or cloaking. Many of these craft are reported to either disappear from view entirely or become nearly invisible to radar systems, despite maintaining a clear physical presence. They seem to have some method of avoiding detection that goes beyond conventional stealth technology. Observable number 5, and this might be the most remarkable, is trans-medium travel. These objects have been documented moving seamlessly between air and water without any apparent loss of speed or control. This should be physically impossible, given the 1,000-fold difference in density between the two mediums. An aircraft optimized for air travel shouldn't be able to enter water at high speed without catastrophic structural failure. Dr. Kevin Knuth, who is a former NASA research scientist and currently a professor of physics, has published peer-reviewed papers analyzing UAP performance characteristics. His conclusion, and I'm paraphrasing, is basically this. If we take the reported observations at face value, we're looking at technology that requires either a completely revolutionary understanding of physics or access to physics principles we simply haven't discovered yet. Let me break down what that actually means in practical terms. Consider the propulsion problem. Every single human aircraft ever built, from the Wright brothers' first airplane all the way to the most advanced stealth fighters we have today, operates on the exact same basic principle. They generate thrust by pushing against something. Propellers push against air. Jet engines expel hot gases backward to move forward. Rockets expel reaction mass. It's Newton's third law of motion. Every action has an equal and opposite reaction. But these UAPs? No visible thrust mechanism, no exhaust, no reaction mass being expelled. They appear to be manipulating gravity itself, or perhaps creating some kind of localized space-time distortion that allows them to move without conventional propulsion. Now, if that sounds like pure science fiction to you, consider this fact. In 2018, the United States Navy filed a patent for something called a craft using an inertial mass reduction device. The patent describes a method of generating high-frequency electromagnetic fields to create what's essentially a vacuum bubble around a craft. This would theoretically reduce its inertial mass and allow for extreme acceleration and velocity. The patent examiner initially rejected this application, saying it was scientifically impossible. But the Navy pushed back hard. They insisted the technology was operable and claimed it had actually been demonstrated in testing. So, here's my question to you. Why would the United States Navy patent technology that supposedly doesn't exist? And why would they fight the patent office to defend that patent if it were purely theoretical with no practical application? The implications of all this are absolutely staggering. Either we're on the verge of a technological revolution that will completely transform human civilization, or we're reverse engineering technology from a non-human source. Or possibly both. Now let's discuss something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in the UAP conversation. The underwater connection. During that 2004 Nimitz encounter I mentioned earlier, pilots observed something very strange beneath the ocean surface. There was significant water disturbance, roiling and churning, suggesting something large was down there. The object that Commander Fravor pursued appeared to be interacting with, or perhaps rendezvousing with, whatever was causing that disturbance before it vanished. And here's the thing. This isn't a unique occurrence. This isn't a one-time anomaly. Former Navy submariners and sonar operators have reported tracking fast-moving underwater objects that massively exceed the performance capabilities of any known submarine or torpedo technology. We're talking about objects traveling at hundreds of miles per hour underwater. Speeds that should be completely physically impossible given water resistance and cavitation effects that would tear any conventional craft apart. In 2019, the USS Omaha, a United States Navy warship, recorded an object descending into the ocean off the coast of California. The craft was being tracked on radar as it moved at high speed through the air. Then it entered the water without any splash, without any disruption of the surface. Navy submarines were immediately dispatched to investigate and locate the object. They found absolutely nothing. The object had completely vanished. Reports of what researchers call USOs, which stands for Unidentified Submerged Objects, span multiple decades and come from navies all around the world. This is a global phenomenon, not just an American one. The Soviet Union documented numerous encounters during the Cold War era, particularly in the Atlantic Ocean and near strategic submarine bases. These objects were tracked on sonar performing maneuvers that defied explanation: right-angle turns at high speed underwater, rapid ascents and descents, formations that clearly suggested intelligent control rather than natural phenomena. Now, think about what this means. If these phenomena are genuinely capable of trans-medium travel, moving effortlessly between space, atmosphere, and ocean, they're demonstrating a level of technological sophistication that's literally centuries, perhaps millennia, beyond our current capabilities. And it suggests something else that's really intriguing. If intelligent extraterrestrial visitors are here on Earth, the ocean might actually be where they're based, where they're operating from. Consider this fact: 70% of Earth's surface is covered by water, and we've explored less than 5% of the ocean depths. The deepest parts of our oceans remain more mysterious and less explored than the surface of Mars. We've sent more people to the moon than we've sent to the bottom of the Mariana Trench. What could be down there? What could be hidden beneath miles of water in the deepest trenches where human detection and investigation is extremely limited and incredibly difficult? It's a sobering thought, isn't it? Let's shift our perspective now and look beyond Earth's surface. Let's talk about what we're detecting and observing in space itself. In recent years, civilian researchers analyzing publicly available footage from the International Space Station have documented hundreds of anomalous objects. Now, to be fair, the vast majority of these can be explained as space debris, ice crystals from the station itself, or reflections from equipment. But some cannot be so easily dismissed. There are objects that appear to be under some form of intelligent control. They change velocity and direction in ways that space debris simply doesn't. There are objects that seem to emerge from Earth's atmosphere at speeds that shouldn't be possible. objects that exhibit structured geometric shapes that are inconsistent with natural phenomena or random debris. NASA typically dismisses these observations as camera artifacts or floating debris, but independent analysis by qualified researchers has challenged these explanations in specific cases. Some of these objects show behavior patterns that strongly suggest propulsion systems and intentional maneuvering. But let's go beyond Earth's immediate orbital environment. Let's talk about what astronomers are discovering in deep space. In October of 2017, an object entered our solar system from interstellar space. It was detected by the Pan-STARRS telescope in Hawaii. Scientists designated it Oumuamua, which is a Hawaiian word meaning scout or messenger, and this object exhibited characteristics that completely defied easy classification. Initially, researchers thought it might be a comet, but Oumuamua had no visible coma. That's the cloud of gas and dust that comets produce as they heat up approaching the sun. Its trajectory showed what scientists call non-gravitational acceleration. In other words, it wasn't simply following a ballistic path through space determined purely by gravity. Something was pushing it. Something was affecting its course. Dr. Avi Loeb, who was the chair of Harvard's astronomy department, published a peer-reviewed scientific paper suggesting that Oumuamua could potentially be artificial. Specifically, he proposed it might be a light sail. That's a thin, highly reflective structure that's propelled through space by solar radiation pressure. His reasoning was based on several factors: the object's extreme elongation, with an estimated length-to-width ratio of about 10:1, its unusual acceleration pattern that couldn't be explained by conventional outgassing, and its trajectory, which was consistent with what you'd expect from an artificial probe traveling through our solar system. The mainstream scientific establishment largely rejected Loeb's hypothesis. They proposed alternative explanations, like the object being made of solid hydrogen ice that was slowly sublimating. But Loeb has vigorously defended his position. He argues that when we're faced with truly anomalous data, we shouldn't automatically favor exotic, natural explanations over artificial ones, especially when the artificial explanation is actually simpler and requires fewer assumptions. As he said in interviews, and I'm paraphrasing, "If we found an object like this on Earth, with these characteristics, we would immediately conclude it was manufactured. Why should we apply completely different standards to objects we find in space?" And Oumuamua isn't alone. In 2019, another interstellar object designated 2I Borisov entered our solar system. This one appeared more clearly comet-like in nature. But the discovery of two interstellar objects within just 2 years raises some absolutely fascinating questions. How many of these objects pass through our solar system completely undetected because we're not looking in the right place at the right time? How many of them might not be natural at all? The Galileo project, which is led by Dr. Loeb, is now using advanced telescopes to systematically search for additional interstellar objects and UAPs. The explicit goal is to gather high-resolution data that can definitively determine whether some of these phenomena are artificial rather than natural. We're also seeing anomalies in radio astronomy that deserve attention. In August of 1977, a radio telescope at Ohio State University detected a signal so unusual, so powerful, and so precisely aligned with theoretical expectations for extraterrestrial communication that the astronomer reviewing the data literally wrote, "Wow," in the margin of the computer printout. The wow signal came from the direction of the constellation Sagittarius. It lasted exactly 72 seconds, and it has never been detected again, despite literally decades of follow-up observations targeting that same area of sky. The signal had all the hallmarks of artificial origin. It was transmitted on a narrow band frequency centered on 1420 megahertz. That's the natural emission frequency of hydrogen, and it's long been considered the most logical channel for interstellar communication. The signal's intensity was 30 times stronger than background noise, and its frequency showed the expected drift caused by Earth's rotation, proving it came from a fixed point in space rather than from Earth or any artificial satellite. To this very day, no conventional explanation has satisfactorily accounted for the wow signal. Some researchers have suggested it might have been caused by a passing comet, but detailed analysis has shown this explanation is inconsistent with the observed data. The most likely explanation remains the one that was written in the margin over 40 years ago. It was a signal from an extraterrestrial source. Now let's talk about one of the strongest arguments for the existence of extraterrestrial civilizations. And it's not direct evidence of their technology. It's evidence of just how incredibly common the conditions for life actually are throughout the universe. When NASA launched the Kepler Space Telescope back in 2009, its primary mission was straightforward: determine how common Earth-like planets are in our galaxy. Answer the question, are planets like ours rare or common? The answer absolutely shocked the scientific community. They're incredibly common. Kepler discovered that roughly 20 to 50% of all stars have planets orbiting in their habitable zones. That's what scientists call the Goldilocks region. Not too hot, not too cold. The distance from a star where liquid water can exist on a planet's surface. In our galaxy alone, that translates to tens of billions of potentially habitable worlds. Let me emphasize that number. Tens of billions of worlds where life could theoretically exist just in our single galaxy. And remember, there are an estimated 2 trillion galaxies in the observable universe. The numbers are almost incomprehensible. And we're not talking about marginal candidates here. We're not talking about planets that barely meet the criteria. We've found worlds that are eerily similar to Earth. Proxima Centauri b, which is just 4 light-years away, orbits in the habitable zone of Proxima Centauri, our nearest stellar neighbor. TRAPPIST-1, a star system just 39 light-years away, has 7 Earth-sized planets. 3 of those 7 orbit in the habitable zone. There's a planet called Kepler 452b that scientists have nicknamed Earth's cousin. It orbits a sun-like star at roughly the same distance that Earth orbits our sun. It's about 60% larger than Earth. It receives only 10% more stellar energy than we do. If it has a rocky surface and an atmosphere, conditions there could be remarkably similar to our own planet. And here's where things get really exciting. We're now able to analyze the atmospheres of some of these exoplanets using a technique called spectroscopy. By observing how starlight filters through a planet's atmosphere when it passes in front of its star from our perspective, we can actually detect the chemical composition of that atmosphere. In 2019, astronomers detected water vapor in the atmosphere of K2-18b, a super-Earth orbiting in the habitable zone of its star. In 2023, the James Webb Space Telescope detected carbon dioxide in the atmosphere of a planet called WASP-39b. These discoveries prove beyond any doubt that we now have the technology to detect what scientists call biosignatures. Those are chemical markers that could indicate the presence of life. Dr. Sarah Seeger, a planetary scientist at MIT, leads a team that's developing methods for detecting these biosignatures. As she explains it, and I'm paraphrasing, they're looking for atmospheric compositions that are out of chemical equilibrium, combinations of gases that shouldn't exist together unless something is actively producing them. On Earth, oxygen and methane coexist in our atmosphere because of biological processes. Plants and photosynthetic organisms produce oxygen. Bacteria and other organisms produce methane. If we find a similar chemical disequilibrium in an exoplanet's atmosphere, it could be a sign of life. The James Webb Space Telescope is currently conducting a systematic survey of potentially habitable exoplanets. It's analyzing their atmospheres, looking for biosignatures, and the results could literally come at any time. Any day now, we might get an announcement that changes everything. But here's the truly profound question. If life can arise wherever physical conditions permit it, and if those conditions exist on tens of billions of worlds just in our galaxy, how many of those worlds have evolved intelligent life? And more importantly, how many of those civilizations are older than ours, more advanced than ours? This brings us to one of the most famous paradoxes in all of science. In 1950, the physicist Enrico Fermi was having a casual lunch conversation with colleagues about the probability of extraterrestrial civilizations. And he asked a very simple question that has haunted scientists ever since. Where is everybody? Here was his reasoning, and it's actually quite compelling. Our galaxy is ancient. It's over 13 billion years old. Our solar system, by comparison, is only about 4.6 billion years old. That means there are stars out there with planetary systems that are literally billions of years older than ours. If intelligent life can evolve on planets like Earth, and if Earth-like planets are common, then mathematically speaking, intelligence should have evolved countless times throughout the galaxy's long history. Even if intelligent civilizations are extremely rare, and even if interstellar space travel is incredibly difficult, a single technologically advanced species would only need a few million years to colonize the entire galaxy. They could do it using self-replicating robot probes or generation ships that travel between stars over many generations. A few million years sounds like a long time to us, but it's absolutely nothing in cosmic terms. It's a blink of an eye. So, where is everybody? Where are the radio signals we should be detecting? Where are the massive engineering projects, the megastructures we should see around distant stars? Where are the obvious signs that our galaxy is absolutely teeming with intelligent life? This is the Fermi paradox, and hundreds of potential solutions have been proposed over the decades. Let me walk you through the most compelling ones. First, there's the Great Filter hypothesis. This suggests that there's a stage in evolution that's incredibly difficult to pass. A filter that prevents most life from ever reaching technological sophistication. Maybe that filter is behind us. Maybe the origin of life itself is incredibly rare, and we're incredibly lucky to exist at all. Or maybe And this is the terrifying possibility. Maybe the filter is ahead of us. Maybe all civilizations inevitably self-destruct before they achieve interstellar travel. If that's true, our days might be numbered. Second, there's the zoo hypothesis. Maybe advanced civilizations are fully aware of our existence, but they've chosen not to interfere with us. They're treating Earth like a nature preserve or an anthropological study. They're watching us, studying us, but not making contact. This would explain the apparent absence of obvious contact, while still allowing for the possibility that we're being observed. Third, there's the dark forest hypothesis. This is a darker, more sinister possibility. Maybe the universe is genuinely dangerous. Maybe revealing your presence to other civilizations is essentially suicidal. Advanced civilizations might stay hidden and immediately destroy any emerging civilizations they detect, out of fear that those new civilizations might eventually pose an existential threat. In this scenario, the cosmic silence isn't empty. It's predatory. Everyone's hiding in fear. Fourth, there's the transcension hypothesis. Maybe sufficiently advanced civilizations simply lose interest in physical space exploration. Instead, they focus inward. They might upload their consciousness into computers. They might explore virtual realities that are infinitely more interesting than physical space. They might manipulate reality at quantum scales. They're still out there, but they've transcended the physical realm we can observe with our telescopes and instruments. But here's another possibility, one that's becoming increasingly difficult to dismiss based on the evidence we've been examining. Maybe they're already here. Maybe they've always been here. Perhaps the Fermi paradox is based on a false assumption. We've assumed we would easily recognize extraterrestrial intelligence if we encountered it. Maybe we've been so focused on looking for radio signals and massive space structures that we've completely missed what's right in front of us. The UAP phenomena we've been discussing, the military encounters with impossible craft, the documented objects performing maneuvers that violate physics. What if these aren't visitors from distant star systems? What if they're evidence of a galactic neighborhood we've been completely blind to? Dr. Jacques Vallée, who is a respected computer scientist and longtime researcher of this phenomenon, has proposed something really interesting. He suggests that the phenomenon might not be extraterrestrial in the way we typically imagine. These could be interdimensional visitors. They could be time travelers from Earth's future. Or they could be representatives of a parallel civilization that's existed alongside humanity for far longer than we realize. As Vallée wrote in his book, and I'm paraphrasing, the UFO phenomenon is absolutely real. It behaves like a control system, influencing human consciousness and culture. And it may not be extraterrestrial at all, but something far stranger than we can currently comprehend. Which brings us to a crucial question. What do governments actually know about all this? And why have they been so secretive for so long? For many decades, the official position of the United States government was remarkably consistent and dismissive. UFOs were either misidentifications of conventional objects, hoaxes, or at worst, unexplained atmospheric phenomena that posed no threat to national security. This position was formally established by Project Blue Book, a United States Air Force investigation program that ran from 1952 to 1969. Blue Book reviewed over 12,000 UFO reports during its operation. They concluded that the vast majority had perfectly conventional explanations: weather balloons, aircraft, planets and stars, atmospheric phenomena. But here's what they don't widely advertise. 701 cases remained officially classified as unidentified, even after thorough investigation by trained personnel. That's 6% of all cases that trained military investigators, scientists, and intelligence analysts simply could not explain using any conventional means. And here's what's even more interesting. Many researchers and former government insiders believe that Project Blue Book was primarily a public relations exercise. The real investigation, they claim, happened elsewhere in deeply classified programs with no public oversight whatsoever. Everything changed dramatically in December of 2017. That's when the New York Times published an absolutely bombshell article revealing the existence of a secret Pentagon program. It was called the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, or AAETIP for short. AATIP ran from 2007 to 2012 with a budget of $22 million. It was specifically tasked with investigating military encounters with unidentified aerial phenomena. The program was run by a career intelligence officer named Luis Elizondo. When Elizondo left the Pentagon, he brought some extraordinary claims with him into the public sphere. According to Elizondo, ATIP discovered that these phenomena were absolutely real. They represented genuinely advanced technology, and they displayed capabilities that strongly suggested non-human origin. He claims the program briefed senior government officials, including members of Congress, on these findings. And those briefings were serious, not dismissive. Along with that New York Times article came 3 videos. They're now known as FLIR, Gimbal, and Go Fast. These were official Navy targeting camera footage showing craft performing those impossible maneuvers we discussed earlier. The Pentagon confirmed the videos were completely authentic and that the objects shown in them remained unidentified. This admission was genuinely unprecedented in modern history. For the first time, the United States government publicly acknowledged that unknown craft with advanced capabilities were operating in controlled military airspace. And they admitted they had absolutely no idea what these objects were or where they came from. But that was just the beginning of this new era of disclosure. In 2020, the Senate Intelligence Committee formally requested a comprehensive report on UAPs from the Director of National Intelligence and the Department of Defense. That report was delivered in June of 2021. Most of it was classified, but they did release a 9-page unclassified summary to the public. The report examined 144 military encounters with UAPs that occurred between 2004 and 2021. Of those 144 cases, only one could be definitively explained. It turned out to be a deflating balloon. The other 143 remained completely unexplained. The report identified 5 potential categories of explanations: airborne clutter, like birds or plastic bags, natural atmospheric phenomena, United States government or private industry developmental programs, foreign adversary systems, meaning advanced technology from China or Russia, and an other category, which essentially means we genuinely have no idea what this is. Most significantly, The report included this statement, and I'm going to quote it directly. Some UAPs appeared to remain stationary in winds aloft, move against the wind, maneuver abruptly, or move at considerable speed without discernible means of propulsion. Read that sentence again carefully. The United States government officially acknowledged that unknown craft are demonstrating technology that appears to violate our fundamental understanding of physics. In 2022, NASA announced it was conducting its own independent study of UAPs. This was the first time the space agency had officially taken on this subject. The study team was composed of respected scientists, astronauts, and aviation experts. They were tasked with examining unclassified data and recommending how NASA could contribute to understanding the phenomenon using its unique scientific expertise. And then came the hearings that really captured public attention. In July of 2023, the House Oversight Committee held a hearing on UAPs that included testimony from 3 military witnesses. But the witness who made headlines worldwide was David Grusch, a former intelligence officer who had served on the UAP task force. Grusch's testimony was absolutely extraordinary. Under oath, under penalty of perjury, he made several explosive claims. He stated that the United States government has been recovering craft of non-human origin for decades. Some of these craft are intact. Some are fragmented wreckage. The government has programs specifically designed to reverse engineer this technology. Biological remains of non-human entities have been recovered along with some of these craft, and this information has been illegally withheld from Congress in violation of their oversight responsibilities. When he was asked directly whether the government possessed craft of alien origin, Grusch replied, and I quote, "Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years." Now, it's crucial to understand that Grusch admitted he has not personally seen these craft or the biological remains. His testimony is based entirely on information provided by dozens of witnesses who claim to have direct knowledge. Many of these witnesses remain bound by security classifications and are unable to speak publicly. The response to Grusch's testimony was mixed, as you might expect. Skeptics correctly pointed out that he offered no physical evidence. Everything he said was based on second-hand information from others. Believers saw his testimony as confirmation of what they'd suspected for decades. But here's what's absolutely undeniable. A credible intelligence officer with high-level security clearances, who had been vetted by the Intelligence Community Inspector General and found to be both credible and urgent, was making these explosive claims under oath before Congress. Either he's telling the complete truth, or he's been massively deceived by numerous witnesses he trusted. Both possibilities are genuinely disturbing when you think about them. And the United States isn't alone in this new era of transparency and disclosure. Countries around the world are releasing their own UAP files and conducting their own investigations. Brazil, France, Chile, and Canada have all released decades worth of documentation on encounters and investigations. The French GEOPAN program has been studying UAPs since 1977 and maintains a public database of cases that anyone can access. Chile's CEFAA has documented numerous encounters by military and civilian pilots, including cases with multiple witnesses and radar confirmation. The pattern is global. The phenomenon is global. and increasingly, governments worldwide are admitting they simply don't have adequate answers. But here's where we arrive at what might be the pivotal moment in this entire story. The piece of evidence that could shift this conversation from speculation and debate into confirmed, undeniable reality. In September of 2024, just over a year ago, researchers analyzing data from the James Webb Space Telescope made an announcement that sent genuine shockwaves through the scientific community worldwide. K2-18b is a super-Earth exoplanet located 120 light-years away from us. It orbits in the habitable zone of its star, meaning liquid water could theoretically exist on its surface. And its atmosphere showed signatures that simply cannot be easily explained by natural processes alone. The planet's atmosphere contains water vapor, as expected. It contains methane and carbon dioxide, which are also not surprising. But it also contains something else, something remarkable: dimethyl sulfide, also known as DMS. Now, here on Earth, dimethyl sulfide is produced almost exclusively by biological processes. Specifically, it's produced by phytoplankton in our oceans. It's considered a biosignature, a chemical compound that shouldn't be present in significant quantities in an atmosphere unless something living is actively producing it. Dr. Niku Madhusudan, the astronomer who led this research at the University of Cambridge, was appropriately measured and careful in his public announcement. He said, and I'm paraphrasing, "We cannot definitively claim we've found life based on this detection alone. We absolutely need more observations and more data. Other potential explanations need to be thoroughly investigated and ruled out. But the presence of DMS in conjunction with other atmospheric biosignatures is extremely interesting and warrants immediate follow-up study." The scientific community has been appropriately cautious about this discovery, as they should be. False positives are always possible with this kind of detection. The presence of DMS needs to be confirmed with additional independent observations. Other potential non-biological explanations need to be carefully considered and tested. But here's what's genuinely undeniable about this moment in history. We now have the technology to detect potential signs of life on planets orbiting other stars, light years away from us, and we found something that looks very much like it could be a signature of biological activity. The James Webb Space Telescope is scheduled to conduct multiple additional observations of K2-18b throughout 2025. Other potentially habitable exoplanets are being added to the observation schedule. The European Space Agency has a mission called Ariel, set to launch in 2029, that will be specifically dedicated to studying exoplanet atmospheres in detail. We are genuinely living in the decade when we might confirm, for the very first time in all of human history, that we are not alone in the universe. But there's more recent news that adds to this moment. In January of 2025, just a few months ago, the Pentagon released 12 additional videos of UAP encounters. This release came in response to congressional pressure for greater transparency and disclosure. These videos were captured by various military assets between 2019 and 2024. They show craft performing maneuvers that remain completely unexplained by any current technology we possess. One particular video, captured by a Navy destroyer in the Pacific Ocean, shows an object entering the water at extremely high speed. The object then travels underwater for several minutes. Then it emerges from the ocean and accelerates to supersonic speeds within just seconds. All of this without any visible means of propulsion whatsoever. Dr. Travis Taylor, who is an aerospace engineer and has consulted on UAP investigations for the government, analyzed this footage. His assessment, and I'm paraphrasing, was essentially this: if this represents human technology, it would mean a breakthrough so revolutionary that it would completely transform aerospace engineering, naval warfare, and our fundamental understanding of physics. If it's not human technology, then we need to have a very serious conversation as a civilization about what we're actually dealing with. And the academic world is finally catching up to this reality. In just the past 2 years, peer-reviewed papers on UAPs have begun appearing in respected scientific journals for the first time in decades. Researchers at Stanford, Harvard, Princeton, and other prestigious institutions are now openly studying this phenomenon without the fear of career destruction that used to come with it. The stigma is breaking down, the scientific taboo is lifting, and the evidence continues to accumulate at an accelerating pace. We are witnessing a genuine paradigm shift happening in real time. The question is no longer, do aliens exist? It's not even really, have they visited Earth? The question has evolved into something far more immediate and profound. What happens when we finally prove it beyond any reasonable doubt? What happens to human civilization when we can no longer deny that we're part of a populated cosmos? Let's take a step back now and summarize everything we've covered, because the sheer volume and variety of evidence can feel overwhelming. We started with the observational evidence. Multiple military encounters with craft demonstrating technology that clearly violates our known laws of physics. Multiple independent sensor confirmations from radar, infrared, and visual systems. Trained military observers with impeccable credentials. Official government acknowledgement that these phenomena are real. We examined the technical impossibilities. Those 5 consistent observables that appear across case after case. Anti-gravity lift, instantaneous acceleration, hypersonic velocities without sonic booms or heat signatures, low observability and apparent cloaking, transmedium travel between air and water, performance characteristics that suggest either revolutionary physics or non-human origin. We explored the underwater connection, objects moving seamlessly between atmosphere and ocean, Navy tracking of underwater craft that far exceed the capabilities of any known submarine technology, the real possibility that Earth's largely unexplored oceans could harbor something we've been unable to detect. We looked at space-based evidence, anomalous objects recorded by International Space Station cameras, Oumuamua and other interstellar objects with characteristics suggesting possible artificial origin, the systematic search for additional evidence using our most advanced telescopes. We discussed the signals from space, the famous WOW signal that remains unexplained after nearly 50 years, fast radio bursts with patterns that could indicate artificial origin, the expanding search for techno-signatures across our galaxy. We examined the habitable worlds. Tens of billions of potentially habitable planets exist just in our galaxy. Earth-like conditions appear to be remarkably common throughout the universe. The statistical improbability that we could possibly be alone given these numbers. we grappled with the Fermi paradox, that profound question of why we don't see obvious signs of galactic civilizations, and the various proposed solutions, including the unsettling possibility that they're already here and we've been blind to their presence. We investigated the government connection, decades of official denial gradually giving way to unprecedented transparency, official acknowledgement of unexplained phenomena that represent potential threats, congressional hearings featuring explosive testimony from credible witnesses, a global pattern of disclosure happening across multiple countries. And finally, we discussed the potential biosignature detected on K2-18b. This could be the piece of evidence that transforms speculation into confirmed scientific fact. So here's what we know with absolute certainty at this point. The universe is incomprehensibly vast. Life-friendly conditions are common, not rare. Unknown craft are operating in our airspace and in our oceans. These craft display technology we cannot explain using conventional physics. Governments are finally acknowledging what many of them have known for decades. And we now possess the technological capability to detect biosignatures on planets orbiting distant stars. And we may have actually found one. The implications of all this are absolutely staggering when you really sit with them. If we're not alone in the universe, if intelligent life is common rather than rare, if some of those civilizations are visiting Earth or have been here for a long time, then every fundamental assumption we've made about humanity's place in the cosmos needs to be completely revised. We're not the center of creation. We're not the pinnacle of evolution. We're not alone in the darkness. And friends, that changes absolutely everything about how we see ourselves and our future. It would change our religions, most of which are fundamentally based on the assumption that humanity is special, divinely created, unique in all of creation. It would change our philosophies, our sense of purpose and meaning, our understanding of consciousness and intelligence itself. It would change our politics, because national boundaries and geopolitical conflicts seem utterly trivial when you're viewing them from a genuine cosmic perspective. It even changes our sense of urgency about existential threats facing our species. If other civilizations have successfully navigated through their technological adolescence, that dangerous period when a species develops the power to destroy itself, then we know survival is possible. There's genuine hope for our future. But this reality also raises some urgent questions that we need to be thinking about. If they're here, what do they actually want? Are they simply observing us? Studying us like we might study animals in the wild? Are they preparing us gradually for some kind of formal contact? Or is their agenda something we can't even comprehend yet? Why all the secrecy for so many decades? If governments know significantly more than they're publicly admitting, why withhold that information? Is it to prevent mass panic? Is it to maintain military and technological advantages? Or are there agreements or treaties we're not privy to? And perhaps most importantly of all, are we ready for this as a species? Let's be honest with ourselves. As a species, we're still quite tribalistic. We're often violent. We're frequently short-sighted. We struggle to cooperate effectively on global challenges like climate change. We fight wars over resources and competing ideologies. We've only barely ventured beyond our own planet. From a galactic perspective, looking at us objectively, we probably seem like children playing with dangerous toys we don't fully understand. Maybe that's exactly why open contact hasn't been made yet. Maybe we're being given time to mature, to evolve psychologically and socially, to prove that we can handle the enormous responsibility of joining a larger galactic community. Or maybe contact has already been made, quietly, at levels of government we don't have access to. Maybe we're being prepared gradually for a revelation that would fundamentally transform human civilization forever. One thing I can say with absolute certainty: we're living in a genuinely pivotal moment in all of human history. Within this decade, we will very likely answer one of the most profound questions our species has ever asked. Are we alone in the universe? And based on all the evidence we've examined together today, the answer appears to be no. We're not alone. We've probably never been alone. The proof is out there. Some of it is already here, documented and verified. More is being discovered with each passing month. The real question facing us now is this: what will we do with that knowledge when it becomes undeniable? How will humanity change when we can no longer pretend we're the center of everything? I want to hear your thoughts on all of this. Do you believe we've been visited by extraterrestrial civilizations? Are you convinced by the military evidence, the government disclosures, the UAP footage? Or do you remain skeptical, waiting for even more definitive proof? More importantly, how do you think humanity should respond if open contact is made, or if truly irrefutable proof emerges that we can't explain away? Drop your thoughts in the comments section below. Let's have this conversation together, because it genuinely might be the most important conversation our species has ever had. If you found this deep dive fascinating and want to learn more, make sure you watch our next video. It's called The Search for Exoplanets: Hunting for Earth's Twins. We're going to explore the incredible methods scientists are using to find potentially habitable worlds. We'll look at the most promising candidates discovered so far, and we'll discuss how close we actually are to finding definitive proof of extraterrestrial life through atmospheric analysis of distant planets. That video goes live next week, and I promise you it's going to absolutely blow your mind. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that like button. Subscribe to Nebula Feed if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our deep dives into the great mysteries of the cosmos. We have videos coming up on the Drake equation, which calculates the probability of intelligent civilizations. We'll explore the technological singularity and what it means for humanity's future. We'll even tackle the simulation hypothesis and whether we might be living in a computer-generated reality. All of these topics tie directly into the question of extraterrestrial intelligence and our place in the universe. Follow us on all social media platforms. We're at Nebula Feed YT on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. You'll get updates, behind-the-scenes content, and ongoing discussions about these fascinating topics. And join our Discord community, where we have daily conversations about the search for extraterrestrial life, the implications of potential contact, and what it all means for humanity's future. Remember this: the universe is under absolutely no obligation to make sense to you, but that doesn't mean we should ever stop trying to understand it. Keep looking up at the stars, keep asking questions, keep searching for answers, because somewhere out there, among those 200 billion trillion stars we talked about at the beginning, someone or something might very well be looking back at us. Thanks so much for watching Nebula Feed. I'll see you in the next video.